This is awkward.
Driven Catalyst.
Yeah, girl.
Okay, hold on. Let me turn down my mic. Slay. It's a mega slay. Hello and welcome to another Driven Catalyst live stream. I am Riley, and today we are going to talk about UX, baby. If you are new here, and frankly, we are all new here, so I'm going to give you the explanation just off the top. I do a daily live stream for starters. I work for a software development company, media development company called Driven Catalyst. I do marketing stuff, but I also sit in on some of the development meetings and give my opinions about what works, what may not work, what's confusing. And every so often on live stream, I have recently been doing something called Yes and UI, where I use my improv background and approach content development and app design with a growth mindset as pursued in improv comedy. I have a background in that from college and high school. And on one of my most recent Yes and UI live streams, I came up with an app idea, frankly, that scratched an itch of my own, which was a letterboxed style app, but for music. And in that live stream, I sort of pled with the masses that, hey, if this app exists, one second, I just realized I have this fun little banner at the bottom of the screen. There we go, fixed it. I pled with the masses that, hey, if you know about an app that already exists that is this thing that I want, please let me know. And you know what? I ended up just doing some digging on my own. We don't quite have the viewership yet for y'all to be solving my problems for me in the comment section. So I took to the App Store and figured it out on my own. And today is Web Design Wednesday. So we are going to talk about the app that I did find. From my understanding, it is also from a sort of smaller software development company. So that is exciting. I want to shout them out. This is an app called Music Board. And every Friday, I do New Music Friday, which means I listen to new albums and I log on here, give you my thoughts about favorite tracks. Really, I approach it from the perspective of a fan of music. I don't have expertise, but I do like to share the things that I like with people. I think that's kind of what just being in media is about. And being a certified yapper, which I don't know if you can see my certificate on the wall, which is actually a Star Wars cat calendar. But I am a certified yapper. So I am going to go in, add some new albums to my Music Board account, and we are going to talk through the interface while I do it. And we're going to take a stab at UI design, user interface design, but from the perspective of the user. And I am going to narrate some of my user experience, what I like, what's difficult, what's confusing, and then maybe take a crack at what could, if it was different, it would be this way and it would be less confusing. So that's what we're going to do. I listened to, before it all gets away from me, let me make a little list of the albums that I need to catalog. So yesterday I listened to 2 Maddie Diaz albums. I listened to History of a Feeling. But actually, now that I'm looking at the track list, I don't think I made it far enough to really catalog that one yet. I did listen all the way through Weird Faith Deluxe. So I need to catalog that one. And then I listened to, on Friday, I listened to the new Blonde Shell album. Blonde Shell new. And then I listened to the Briston Maroney album. New. It's called Jimmy. I know that one. Let me look at my new liked songs on Spotify to make sure too. You know what? So we can test out the user experience all the way. I will review a track too. So I will look up, I'm going to do Pink Skies by Zach Bryan. I've been listening to that song for a while, but like a TikTok or something came up with it yesterday, and I just had to have my little Pink Skies moment. That song is so beautiful. And I think that may be all. Oh no, I don't think I have logged the new Jensen McRae album yet, so I do need to add that to my account too. Just trying to get it all in one place so that I can basically just update my account, because I think that's probably going to be the best. If we go and we approach it with I'm actually going to do like the housekeeping for my account in totality, I think we'll run into as much of the user experience hangups or whatever I need to learn, you know? So let's dive in. I would say when I said I was wanting Letterboxd but for music, I would say this app completely covers all those bases, down to even being able to list your favorite albums on your account, which I really love. I think that's just, if I could do that in the same way that MySpace, you used to be able to have your little faves listed, I need Instagram to roll that out. I need like regular schmegular social media accounts to have that listed, because I think it's important, and I wish I knew that about all the people I know. What are you listening to? What do you enjoy? That's the one thing that I don't want to make any big sweeping statements about online dating, but I will make one now, okay? I don't want to, but I will. Kind of bleh, right? I don't know. It certainly works. But one thing they got right, one thing damn near every single online dating app has right, is that you list what you listen to. You can connect your Spotify or whatever. That's so fun. Why? I think we would have less of a situationship epidemic if we could just let people list what they're listening to on Instagram. Dating doesn't need to be involved. You literally just tell me what albums you're listening to, and we can just build a friendship. Okay. So, first things first, actually, that I will say about this app, and I don't know if it's just my device in particular. It kind of seems like it may be my device, just based on what I know from the small experience I've had with our apps, is this bottom toolbar is a little shallow. Sorry, I have my action button on my phone set up to be a flashlight, so that's what just happened. And so the thing that you switch in between apps with kind of covers a third of it, which isn't ideal. It's not that big of an impediment to me. So we've got home button, search button, and then plus sign in the middle. That's where we create a new list. That's where I can see my drafts. I can search albums, tracks, and artists to rate. Frankly, I really like that. I think, but based on what I know from Letterboxd, let's do a quick glance at Letterboxd. Also, I could be sharing my screen. For privacy's sake, I don't really want to do that with my phone. But I do think that there is something to be said too about me being challenged to talk through it and being more likely to find language, which will then help guide and influence my ability to, with our own apps, talk through unique problems and then maybe be a voice in solving them. I stand corrected. There is a little plus button in Letterboxd. Something about the way that this gives me a little search albums, tracks, or artists to rate or create a new list. Something about how it spelled it out for me, I prefer. I am a newer user for Letterboxd, and add a film is a lot less clear to me. What am I adding it to? I can only search the film by the film. I can't like just look up Sandra Bullock movies. You know what I mean? So I already prefer that more on soundboard. Is it called? Oh, it's music board. Soundboard is kind of fun. Sounding board. But music board is more of what it is. I also do like, there's like an activity by friends feed. Oh my gosh. And you can add music to listen later. Wow, that's cool. Okay, so let's dive in. I'm going to search up, you know what? Let's just search up Maddie Diaz. And the albums are going to come up. I listened to Weird Faith Deluxe already. That's a distinction, deluxe versus regular. And the album art is different. It's a different album. And they do have deluxe, comes right up. It's always hard for me to rate stuff. I hate rating artwork, like art, books. Because really, a lot of times, I very much have this sense of like, I completed it. I consumed it as a whole. That is worthwhile to me. And so I always find myself rating the experience of consuming something in its whole and being proud that I finished it and that it's a new work of some sort that I'm carrying with me now. And so I always have a hard time being discerning about, at 3.5 stars. Like, I just have such a hard time with that. If you look at Goodreads, every book I read most often has like 4 stars. Because to me, I'm like, well, it's not, I don't know. It's not my all-time favorite book necessarily, but I did like it a lot. And I like that I went through the process of reading. I like that I'm investing in reading for fun again, stuff like that. I feel similarly about music. But I do feel like good and honest 4 stars on Weird Faith Deluxe. I listened to it yesterday, so I'm going to change the date. You can add a title and then add a review. For Weird Faith, there is a lyric from it that I think I'm going to make my title. By the way, Weird Faith is absolutely a great title track. I think it's beautiful. Heart of Gold and Weird Faith. Heart of Gold and Weird Faith is what I'm going to title this review. Love that, by the way. I think it's very easy to click. There's a bolded title. It's self-explanatory. It's easy. I just click that. I add a title for my review. Then I can add my review. I'm going to say I've had miscellaneous tracks saved from Maddie Diaz for a while now. I've always appreciated her clever lyrics and appreciated the clever lyrics and beautiful vocals on her songs. This was my first time sitting down and listening intensely through a full album, and I was not disappointed. This album is littered. This album is sonically, that's like just the word to use when you're talking about music, I found. Sonically beautiful and interesting. Sonically beautiful interesting. And littered. That's not really the best writing, but and littered with lyricism that made a lasting impression. I have saved a good number of these songs to my liked. A number of these tracks to my liked songs on Spotify for shuffling in perpetuity. For shuffling enjoyment in perpetuity, I will absolutely have to catch Maddie live someday, hopefully soon. Publish. Pretty easy. And then as soon as you publish, it gives you the option to copy a link so you can share your review. So funny. When I say so funny, I mean just like, yeah, every review I've given it's just me being like, I really like it. This was good. I'm really glad I listened to this. I'm not a tastemaker. I just enjoy. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Okay, Briston Maroney. So now this time I'm just going to type in Jimmy and see what happens. Boom, pretty quickly. Fourth option is Jimmy Briston Maroney album. I'm going to go ahead and give it 5 stars. I listened to it Friday. So let me look at the calendar. What was Friday? The 4th? That's not true. That's Saturday, right? Because, hey, no. Because Cinco de Mayo was Monday. So Cuatro de Mayo. Oh, I'm looking at April. Figures. Okay, Friday was May 2nd. So there we go. Confirm. Title. Ugh, I want to make it 6 callers ahead of us, Jimmy, because of the Progressive commercial or whatever. There's an insurance commercial where there's an old man fishing and you got to be quicker than that. 6 callers. And then there's like a woman, his mom is on the phone. Do you know what I'm talking about at all? 6 callers ahead of us, Jimmy. You got to be quicker than that. Man, I tell you, if it is someone that is putting in work these days with genuine human ingenuity, it is the people that are writing insurance commercials. Jimmy. Okay, wait. Okay, and then similar to Letterboxd, you can mark it as a re-listen, and then you can write a review to pin. I'm not sure what that means, but I presume it means pin to like my personal profile. I like that it asks me to set a date, and I like how easy it is to change what date that I'm setting. So that's something I'll note. And then I also like, too, that it's, I mean, maybe this is self-explanatory, but I like that it puts what I'm reviewing right up at the top so I don't forget. I know you're probably thinking, like, why would you forget? But especially if you're going in and logging a lot of stuff at once, you could totally forget. And I think that's nice. Let's for this one, let's not add a title. Let's just review it and see what happens. I kind of have pretty good faith that it's not just going to leave title as my title. If I don't have a title, I presume it's just going to take my review text, put it there, and I don't need to worry at all about the fact that there's no title. So for this one, let's be quicker. I'm going to say Briston Maroney never disappoints. I'm a longtime fan and was delighted to hear new and interesting production choices, as well as production choices in addition to the fantastic, comforting, dynamic, and I don't know. Your new and interesting production choices in addition to the expected, in addition to the classic was delighted by a totally Briston sounding album in addition to new and interesting production choices. I would say, no, okay. Most of the tracks on Jimmy were immediate saves for me. I already have immediate saves for me. This album is perfect for driving, for car listening. Okay, publish. I know, I was like, let's just be short with it. And then I really poured over that choice and decided to be lengthy with it. Okay, let's go in and do some tracks now. No, let's do the complete opposite. So let's do Jensen McRae's new album. And I won't leave a review. I'll just rate it. I don't know how, but they found me. Came up immediately when I typed in Jensen McRae. I'm going to give it 5 stars. I listened to it the day it came out. So let me just look it up. And this one, instead of, I guess we'll just give it a title, but no review, right? Like, let's just test out everything. I typed in Jensen McCraw. When you think Jensen McCraw, hope you think my favorite song. It's Tim McGraw by Taylor Swift, if you weren't sure. April 25th. Got a little southern there for no reason, other than I do live in Texas. Title, Jensen McRae, I love you. That's all we'll do. Because I do. I love her. Boom. Look at that. I am a pro user of Music Board, by the way. Fun. And then let me go in and we're going to add Pink Skies. Oh, hey, wait. So we will do Pink Skies real quick. Pink Skies, Zach Bryan, rate track. I'm going to give it 4.5 stars because I was going to go give 5 and it auto said 4.5. I'm going to give this one just a ridiculously long title and no review. Every so often, I remember this song exists and lose my mind over it. Lose my mind about it all over again. I think I heard you come. Or let's start with some track. We'll do some lyrics and quotations. Because it's true. Pink Skies by Zach Bryan. Golly. It's just like, I can feel it in my gut. It's such a beautiful track. Frankly, I remember everything. The whole album is just... Oh man. I didn't even realize that that's what the lyric is. I thought it was I like think I felt I heard you coming, or I thought it was like just like I don't know. I just thought it was like I don't know, like a refrain about like just I knew you would come into my life and be a force of change in a good way. Like, that's what I thought it was. But obviously I knew, like, your funeral was beautiful is the line that leads to it. I didn't realize it was, I bet God heard you coming. Ah! Golly. Every so often I remember, so I just don't, I'm actually not going to quote it. Because it almost cheapens it. It cheapens it. I'm not going to just quote it in this context. But I am going to say every so often I remember the song exists and lose my mind about it all over again. Publish. Golly. Wow, yeah. Okay, so yay. Okay, so yeah. I would say that this app does everything that I could want it to do. You can like and reply to people's reviews as well. Let's see. I do have one friend that downloaded the app after I told him about it. Top albums are my faves right now. He doesn't have any reviews yet. So I was gonna go and maybe test the like and comment on reviews option. But I am going to, I didn't add these albums to my list yet. So I have my 2025 listening list as well. These are the albums I've sat down and listened to intently this year. May or may not be new releases, albums and EPs only. Oh, albums and... Girl, you're dumb. Me, I'm the girl. Albums and EPs only on this list. I don't know why I said EPs. Okay, but like, let me add... I like too that there's stickers too, because I added a sticker to my list. It's the Keep Exploring stickers. So to me, I feel like too that sets the vibe for this list. Is like maybe not necessarily faves. Not every album I listen to this year is going to be a favorite album, but I like that there's a way to be like, obviously the intent of this list kind of is more so to explore. So let me edit list. You can add a list banner, which I really like. You can reorder your list and have it numbered if I did want to go in and rate it, which I think I probably will maybe try and rate it, like put it in order at the end of the year based on my recollection. But yeah, so like let me add Jensen McRae. I don't know how they found me, the album. And then what is it? Weird Faith Deluxe? Yes. And then I listened to Jimmy. See, every time I want to think collar that it was Jimmy. And then I listened to Blonde Shell, which I realized I haven't mentioned now. If you asked for a picture, what's the name of that album? Cool. And I think that is it. Now I just update my list. Oh man, that's just beautiful. I love seeing all the albums I've listened to this year so far together. I guess probably not just this year, like since I've started doing New Music Fridays and listening more intently. But how cool, how fun. I guess that's my final review. Is there's not much I would change about this interface. I would say it's pretty much everything I would dream of. I would say the bottom little toolbar, I maintain the fact that it would be nice if it maybe came up a little bit further, but I do think if I had a different iPhone, it probably would be different. I assume that it's scaled better on other phones. I really like that there's a messaging and activity part. I like the idea that if I made friends on this app, I could keep in touch with them. I think that's kind of fun. I like too that there's thumbnails. It looks a lot like the Spotify Explore page, and I really like Spotify. Yeah. And I think the little app icon itself is pretty cute too. It's like a royal blue with a gold CD like in a box. It's really cool. So that's Music Board. If any of you watched my live stream where I came up with this app idea and then pleaded with you all to let me know if it exists. It does exist. It's called Music Board. The interface is awesome. It's pretty much everything I would have sat down and wanted to design when I tried to. And I would say I just had a pretty good user experience. There's nothing really that I ran into that I wanted to do and couldn't do. In fact, if anything, I feel like I wouldn't really think about adding a title for a review, but I like that that's an option. And I like that I have that it's pretty easy to go in between doing all title text or all review text. I like the way the text wrapping for the review title works. I like that there's no like ... ominous ... on title length, that I can make the title of the review the only thing. I could just basically type all the body of the review into the title and it would just bold my whole review. I like that. So yeah. These are all things that I'm going to remember both about myself and my experience, and they are going to inform my judgment moving forward, I think, in these development meetings and as I come up with different app ideas. Thank you for tuning in. It's Wednesday. We did it. We made it to the middle of the week. If it is, it's clearing up outside. It's pretty bright. Actually, I talked about y'all being able to see my disco ball. Let's see. This is my disco ball by my window. It's clearing up outside and sunny. I was going to say it's been a pretty gloomy week, so I feel like I have fought hard to make it to Wednesday, and I'm excited that it is Wednesday. And if you're feeling similarly, I hope you have a great rest of your week. Regardless, I hope you have a great rest of your week. And I hope the sun is shining or that the rain is cozy. Whatever the vibe is, I wish you well. Goodbye. I'll see you tomorrow.